Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Debbie from Project 39 and we are going to be working on the Hip Hooray mini album page 1 front. Let me show you what the features are. So we've got this piece of chipboard with the ribbons on it. There are more rub-ons, which you're a pro at. A little pocket here on the front of this upper flap. Underneath it, I do have an element from the ephemera. This comes down. I do have some stickers on here. Whoops, you can't see that. There we go. Some stickers on here. Good room for a photo. This I did glue down on the bottom to give you room to journal, but it does hold this little journal card, and there is a photo mat there. And then a little secret surprise is there is a little tuck spot, and I have this cute little insert in that tuck spot there. Some more rub-ons, and then this is a side-loading pocket, which we will do at the end of all of these videos. So it's pretty easy. So let's get to it, and I'll show you what we need. All right, we are going to work on the front of page 1. So I've got everything together. I reuse these papers that you get when you get collection kits to keep everything organized. We're first going to start with the cardstock, and then we're going to go to the decorative paper. Although we'll have to go back and forth because we have to do a little bit of cutting. All right, let's start with our flaps. So what we're going to do is do the scoring, get things prepared, add some decorative paper to the book, and then add some features to the book. Well, maybe not necessarily in that order. But anyhow, the top and bottom flaps are going to be the same size. So they are 6 1/8 by 4 5/8. 6 1/8 by 4 5/8. With the 4 5/8 side at the top score at 1/2 inch. Yes, I'm using a different scoreboard. I'm borrowing my friend's just because I'm trying it to see how I like using the score buddy. So anyhow, there's that. And then the same with this next one. Same thing. Oh, incidentally, so I am using heavier weight cardstock here for these flaps. If you have a second cardstock and you can use it for flaps, then by all means. I'm going to go ahead and miter right here for the flaps, and then I'll put them aside and move on. Well, I'll tell you what, before I put it aside, I will fold and burnish on my score line. And then I'll put it aside. All right, so here's a pocket. This pocket is 5 3/4 by 3 1/4. So it's going to be a long, thin pocket. So we're going to put it in the scoreboard and score at 1/2 inch. Rotate so the score side now is at the top. Score at 1/2 inch. Rotate so the score side is at the top, and score again at 1/2 inch. And I'm sorry, we started at the 5 3/4 inch side first. Now you see the X that we've made with the score line. I'm going to cut right through the center of that X and also miter at the top. And that's it for scoring for right now. I'll fold, and I guess I'm fold and burnish on our score lines for this piece. Okay. Now the next piece is a pocket back. which is 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. So you have your choice. You could do it one of two ways. You could insert it inside here and have all the features, all of the flaps on the outside, or put it on the inside. You know, I think I want it on the inside, and we'll cover up the flaps. But since this paper, I need to cut it down just a smidgen. That's why you should always dry fit things to see whether or not you need to make any adjustments. All right, so this will go on the inside. We'll have all the workings on the outside. I'll open this up, add glue to what will be the inside of the flaps. And put it down and burnish. Okay. So there is a cute little pocket, and then we have a pocket insert that's 4 1/8 by 2 7/8. I'm just going to keep that all together. All right, now let's bring in the book. So what we're going to be doing is adding paper that's going to coordinate with this. It's not going to be matchy-matchy. It's not going to be a duplicate of this, but we are going to have the same colors and patterns to coordinate. I'm bringing in all of my paper, which has all of my labels and everything, nice and neat. Okay, so from the 8 by 8 paper called Better Together, I have this flag paper, and I've cut it to 7 by 7 7/8. So many sevens there. Oh no, wait, we're not going to put this down yet. You know why? Because we need to put down our flaps first. I'm sorry. So let's take our flaps. One is going to go on the bottom, and one is going to go on the top. I'm going to have this over about 1/4 inch away from the edge of the page. 1/4 inch from the edge, from the right side of the page. Make sure it's parallel with our edge of the page so it's straight up and down. And then we're going to do the same with the top piece. Parallel with the edge of the page. This is going to overlap a little bit so you can use that as a guide. I'm trying my best to match it up at the top. It would help if I turned the book so I can see. And there we go. Now we can put our decorative paper on the inside. I hope I didn't steer you wrong. So you could go either way, but we're going to have a green stripe here, so that's why I'm going with this. So this will go justified over to the right-hand side. So this right side, when it's turned correctly, will go to the right of the page, and there will be a 1/16 of an inch gap, top and bottom, and on the right side. So there we go. That's making me cheerful already, isn't it? Isn't that fun? Make sure you put the flag paper right side up. I just looked at it thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want to put it upside down. All right, so now from it was the 12 by 12 paper. I cut this piece of the green ribbon so it makes it 3/8 of an inch wide and it's 7 7/8 of an inch long. This is going to go over to the left hand side of the page right up against this previous paper we put down. So I got that. And there we go with that. Love, love, love the little stitchiness on it. I think that's gorgeous. Okay, so now we have some papers to go on our flaps, but I don't want to glue it all down yet, so don't rush ahead. So we've got this flag paper I am using on the front, whoops, for the bottom flap that are actually 6 by 4, my paper clip. I am just going to tack down using some ATG, just a touch of it here on the front, just to keep it out of my way. But we're going to put a magnet on it before we put it down, so that's why I'm not going to glue it yet. But we can glue the inside piece. You have your choice. You could use this, or you could use this. I'm going to do this, make sure my words are still going the right way, so I can go ahead and glue this down. For the top flap, I have two pieces that are 6 by 3 7/8. So I want the balloons showing on the front. So the reason I'm doing that is even though you don't see balloons replicated right now, when you open this up, you'll see the balloons. So anyhow, I'm going to put balloons in the front and the green solid in the back. You do have a choice of rounding the corners. I guess I should have told you before we glued everything down, but you don't have to. All right, so balloons in the front and on the back green solid, just to invite a photo there, and because there's enough pattern here anyhow. Okay, loving it. I mean, how could you not? Look at how gorgeous these patterns are. All right, let's take this and move it aside. We have some work to do. I mean, it's not hard work, but it's work. All right, so we have two pieces of this green solid that are 4 5/8 by 2 5/8. 4 5/8, 2 5/8. I've also grabbed this chipboard element and the coral colored ribbon that comes when you get paper from Scrap and Create. And what's going to happen is I'll finagle this ribbon and it's going to be wrapped around the back and it's going to be the front of the pocket. But before I put this down, I want to do some rub-ons with some of our confetti. And you guys are old hands at that, so you know how to do it. But in order to maximize it and make sure I get the confetti rub-ons where I want, I'm going to first, and you don't need to put the ribbon in first, but I didn't want to lose it, take my chipboard element and make sure it's where I want it to be, and I'm going to very lightly draw a pencil line around where that's going to be. Of course, it's easier if you don't have the ribbon in, but like I say, I just didn't want to lose it. And we'll erase this, but don't draw it on too heavy. All right, can you see that? Maybe not, but I know it's there. I'm going to fast forward through adding the confetti, but I will do a still shot when I'm done so you can get an idea of what I've done exactly. All right, let me make sure my ribbon is straight. There we go. So what I'm going to do is glue this on and then pull the ribbon around to the back and just lightly tape it. Hip, hip, hooray, I did it. I'm going to take a couple of pieces of score tape. Turn this over and add these to the back, just so I can pull the ribbon on. I'll use glue as well, but the score tape will keep it down while that glue is drying. Let me take a look at it this way. Make sure it's even, which it is. And there we go. All right, now I can glue this onto the front of my pocket. I really, really, really like that confetti on there. I think it centers everything. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to add a magnet to the back. And then add the paper. I'm going to go down to the bottom because the top's going to be glued down so you won't see it. So there may be a bigger gap on the top of the page than there is on the bottom. Okay, added my magnet. I love it. I love it. It's not even glued down yet. I'm just trying to figure out where it's going to be, and I'm just going to center it on here, so I'll add glue to the back of this piece. I know it's going to be about 1.5 inches, so I'll add glue to the very bottom here. I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper and put it down here just in case some of that glue seeps down. But I'm going to center it with the ribbon. What I'm going to do is match up where the holes are in the chipboard with the bottom of the pocket, the bottom of the flap, and make sure it's centered side to side. And there we go with that. Now I'll peel this off. Remember, we didn't glue it down, it just is tacked down. I'll add a drop to the center of that magnet. Wipe off my magnet. Now I know where I want my score tape piece to be. And match it up. And burnish. And there we go. There we go. There is the back of the inside front cover and the front of page 1. So we've got the chipboard element with the ribbon, some confetti using the rub-ons, and then this will open like that, and this will open down. So I will be adding other elements to this. I'm not done by any means, but as far as constructing the pages and putting on the decorative paper, I'm for the most part finished. Oh, no, not really, because we've got the pocket insert. How could I forget that? Because we're going to do something else. From the stickers, first of all, I've got this cut apart from the 8x8 collection. So it's 4 by 2 3/4. But I am going to take this, I'm going to take the confetti piece here. Sometimes I don't trust how these fold. They don't seem to always fold perfectly straight to me. So I'm taking a piece from score tape and I'm putting this down, and I want to get it on straight because I want to score exactly where I want this to fold. There we go. So I'm going to put that here. There we go. I just wanted to make sure it folded exactly where I wanted it to. 1/4 of an inch from the left-hand side, 1/4 of an inch down. Okay, it's on. And I'll burnish it now. Then I'll add my cut apart. Yes, I know, we hate to cover up Mom and Dad and the little cub. But this gives you a great spot to do some journaling. And that will go inside our pocket. Now I will add something to the back of it. Usually the smaller pieces I'll wait a little bit and see what scraps I have, but there we go. And you can leave it poking out a little bit. I don't want it necessarily to poke out too much, but just so you know there's something in that pocket. So there we go with the front of page 1.